Good morning, class 9. Hope you guys are all doing great and taking care of yourselves and fit and fine and strong. And so today I'm going to do the SST today for you. And in the last English class we were on the Coromandel fisherman, right? So we'll do that later again. So I told you to read. I hope you're reading it and going through it. I'll come back with explanations for it. But today we'll do SSC. We were at the part of the woman in the February Revolution. I had told you a lot about it. But one example in the book which is there is that women workers often inspired their male co-workers at the Lawrence telephone factory. Marfa Vasilieva almost single-handedly called a successful strike already that morning. In celebration of Women's Day, women workers had presented red bows to the men. Then Marfa Vasilieva, a milling machine operator, stopped work and declared an impromptu strike. The workers on the floor were ready to support her. The foreman informed the management and sent her a loaf of bread. The main problem was bread, food scarcity was there. She took the bread but refused to go back to work. The administrator asked her again why she refused to work, and she replied, "I cannot be the only one who is satiated when others are hungry." Women workers from another section of the factory gathered around Marfa in support, and gradually all other women ceased working. Soon the men also downed their tools as well, and the entire crowd rushed onto the street, celebrating Women's Day. They were so tough. After February, what happened? So we have to go back again to where it started from. From Tsar to USSR, Russia's chaotic year of revolution. 1917, January, Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia with Bolshevik Vladimir Lenin lived in exile. The revolution had reversed their roles, leaving the former Tsar a prisoner and Lenin holding all the power. Okay. Events paved its way for the Soviet Union. It dominated the politics of the 20th century, and it has left an indelible mark on the contemporary world. But when Russia's year of revolution began in the bitterly cold February of 1917, many revolutionaries did not at first pay any attention. February 23rd, International Women's Day, thousands of women protested in Petrograd demanding more generous rations, an end to the war and the right to vote. The first sign that something big was happening on the International Women's Day, February 23rd, 1917. In the old Russian calendar, crowds of female factory workers gathered in the center of Petrograd, the Russian capital formerly known as St. Petersburg. Even as disaffected and hungry workers, male and female, joined in the protest, some revolutionaries remained skeptical. They were surprised. Alexander Shailanikov was a leading figure of the Bolshevik movement, whose leader Vladimir Ilyich Lenin had been living outside Russia for long periods of time since 1900. Shailanikov observed on February 25th, "Give the workers a pound of bread and the movement will peter out." Give them bread and the movement will stop. But it did not happen. Hunger, war and rage. Despite initial doubts that the growing February protest would amount to much, many observers at that time, including Lenin, Bolsheviks, Russian liberals and foreign diplomats, were nevertheless certain that a revolution was only a matter of time. The roots of Russia, means their grand roots, their hereditary, was running deep. During a devastating famine in the early 1890s, the inability of the government to provide sufficient relief had famed revolutionary fervor in the country. In the cities, the appalling exploitation and squalor suffered by the workers triggered waves of protest and strikes. See, I am not just doing blah 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 out here. I am explaining it from the beginning. When the end has come, we have to touch the beginning. After February, what happened? Isn't it? Then the revolution of October comes in. So before we finish this February revolution, we must come to the starting again. So this is just a briefing up I am giving you. The pressure of industrialization were worsened by the actions of Tsar Nicholas II. Reigning from 1894, Nicholas had inherited Russia's colossal empire and the autocratic ideas of his family, the Romanov dynasty. In 1905, the Tsar's popularity was ebbing due to continuous domestic problems as well as unpopular war with Japan. During a peaceful demonstration in St. Petersburg, 1905, protesters were fired on and killed in an event triggered months of protest. Okay. Very educated, the Tsar, when he became the Tsar in 1894. But the war in 1904 and 1905 ended in a humiliation and revolution on the streets of St. Petersburg. The cocktail war and revolt, the cocktail actually of war and revolt would prove this undoing decade, even though Russia entered World War I in 1914 on a surge of patriotism. His decision was to take supreme power of the armed forces and influence of the sinister monk Rasputin over his wife. Lost Nicholas's crucial support. Not even his abdication in March 1917 would save him from the Bolsheviks. They were held in a house in Yekaterinburg until July 1990, when Nicholas, his wife and 5 other children were murdered in the cellar. Cellar means underground house where they store wine and food for winter. The revolt continued throughout the year. In the fall of 1905, Tsar Nicholas's family compromised. He issued the October Manifesto, which laid the groundwork for protection of civil rights, creation of a constitution, establishment of a parliament called the Duma. These concessions appeased enough the revolutionaries for Nicholas to stay in power. But many others viewed this October Manifesto as too late, inspired by the writings of Karl Marx, who foresaw a revolt in which laborers would become the ruling class, and revolutionary figures such as Lenin continued to agitate against the Tsar. Because of the unresolved social and economic tensions were magnified by Russia's entry into World War I in 1914, located near the front line with Germany, Petrograd, the former St. Petersburg, swarmed with soldiers and hungry workers who toiled in the shadow of the city's lavish palaces. Exhausted by the war and food shortage, by early 1917, Petrograd was a powder keg of despair and anger with those in power. What happened was just not a revolution, children, you have to understand, guys, but multiple revolution, a rejection not just of the state but also of the figures of authority, judges, policemen, government officials, army, navy officers, priests, teachers, employers, landowners, village elders, patriarchally minded fathers and husbands. Patriarch. Rejection. What were the roots of the revolution? We must come to know. Royal forces strike down protesters in St. Petersburg, leading to revolt. In October, the first Soviet Workers' Council is set up. The Tsar enacts reforms and holds on to power. These points are very important. The way I am giving you the points, you have to just write it down. I'll come back in the next video.